The karst peaks of Guangxi, China, form a landscape defined by verticality, a dense, forested terrain that remains exceptionally difficult to traverse on foot. In May 2022, a drone flying high above the canopy spotted a massive void in the rock face, completely obscured from ground level. When explorers eventually reached the site, they found a cavern entrance that dwarfed the surrounding forest. Stepping inside, the team immediately noticed a change. The environment felt distinct and separate from the humid jungle they had just left. They weren't just looking at an empty cavern. The site contained two specific anomalies. One was a rare atmospheric condition and an intentional human construction. This site functions as its own world, operating outside the expected rules of both local geology and regional history. The first anomaly was the temperature. The explorers found that the air inside the cave remained consistent, regardless of the weather conditions outside. The cave exists as a closed microclimate. Cut off from external pressure, it doesn't exchange air with the outside world. While external seasons and humidity fluctuate wildly, interior metrics remain static, trapped in a permanent state. Karst mountains are typically porous and full of drainage channels, making a perfectly sealed bubble a complete geological rarity. This complete isolation created a natural vacuum, functioning effectively as a physical pause button on the biological process of decay. The purpose of that vacuum became clear when the team's flashlights caught the surfaces of the interior walls and the nearby cliffs. Hundreds of heavy, sealed wooden coffins were located throughout the cavern. These coffins weren't placed on the floor or buried in the earth. Instead, they were suspended securely in midair, resting on wooden stakes driven into the sheer vertical face of the rock. Without modern machinery, hoisting hundreds of massive timber boxes up a vertical wall and securing them to the cliff presents a significant engineering challenge. Choosing to leave the dead exposed and elevated deviates dramatically from the most common historical practice of traditional subterranean burial. The effort required to suspend these bodies suggests a motivation powerful enough to justify the extreme labor of defying gravity. When we combine the microclimate with the placement of the coffins, we can begin to see why this difficult, isolated location was chosen. The site was driven by a conviction in a literal, physical life after death, where the survival of the body was a requirement for the next world. We see a parallel in ancient Egypt, where preserving the physical form through mummification and sealed tombs was the primary focus of their funerary culture. In Guangxi, suspending the coffins provided a physical defense, keeping the dead out of reach from ground scavengers, from seasonal flooding and human interference. The cave's microclimate provided the chemical defense. That stable, isolated atmosphere acted as a natural refrigerator, slowing the breakdown of organic material. The Guangxi cave is a deliberate system of preservation. Here, an ancient people identified the unique properties of this mountain and utilized them to secure their ancestors' place in the next world.